I just want to say I miss Georgia. I used to live there, and I moved out here to Arizona in 2011. So I used to live in Atlanta, and I miss seeing green outside.
Yeah, Georgia's so beautifully green.
Especially in April.
Yeah.
Troy and Ira look like and sound like they're in a bathroom. So someone just said.
We're having a shower.
We already heard that, Marcus. Thanks for repeating it.
I was actively trying to put everything on Facebook in our group. So if people want this meeting, they can watch it. Okay. So, wearing a lot of hats.
Troy, basically, AKA Troy and I are slackers. Yeah. We're slacking.
I'm also renovating a home at the moment.
I did that.
I'm over maybe that. You're not slacking. Maybe you're just multitasking.
Can't multitask. It's not possible.
But Marcus tries very hard to do all things at all times.
All at once.
Yeah.
He's sitting in his bed in his motorhome. That sounds like a nice life there, Steve.
Down by the river?
Yeah.
No, in my backyard, but it's quiet, and I wasn't feeling lazy, and I had early morning meetings, so I just brought my laptop in here. And what's actually the real reason is because it's 70 degrees today, and I can open up. There's a window behind me and a window in front of me, and there's a breeze that's coming straight through it. So it's like perfect just to sit here and feel the breeze come through.
I love that 70 degrees breeze weather. That's like the perfect climate right there. If I could have it year round, that would be ideal. I don't want to walk outside and start sweating. That's not my ideal weather.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm that way too.
70 degrees yesterday and snow last night. That's interesting. All right, let's get it rocking, everybody. So today is all about how everybody has been navigating through COVID and closing deals. And we have a flood of testimonials that have come in through the StreetText Insider Group. So, everybody, please share. This is the perfect time to learn from one another and tell us how you've navigated through this and how you created virtual and electronic types of adaptations to close deals. So, Joe, since you were first to the meeting, I might start with you.
And it's also just like Joe, we asked to share. It's not even just about closing deals. It's about just favorable transactions. We need to raise our beliefs and prop our beliefs up right now.
Right.
Because if we don't believe anything, we're not in action towards it. So if you believe that everything's failing and falling, you're not going to do anything. You're not going to fix your automations. You're not going to reach out to your contacts. So we need to realize that there's still a lot of movement going on in the world out there. So Joe had a positive experience this week that we asked him to share.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to acknowledge, the more I'm finding, the more that I acknowledge, my ups and downs, and be honest with, okay, I'm freaking out a little bit, talk about it, let it go, rely on Ira a little as well, the time we have together. It helps me process all the stress that's going on, and kind of put the stuff aside that's quote unquote irrelevant and focus. And this is also something I want to just throw out there. And Ira, you've been great, but I'm also finding that I need a little extra accountability. So I've actually hired a coach in addition to what you and I do, because I just need more than that, because I'm in business for myself. That said, I have attended the ad course that I think Jonathan you put on, which is great. Thank you very much for that. It helps me focus. And I'm going to talk a little bit about a recent lead that came through. It was a guy who did the whole value request, and he put all of his information in. And I immediately called the guy within, 3 or 4 minutes of actually getting the lead. I'm finding that the more I do that, the more people appreciate it. I mean, if they put a phone number in, they're expecting a phone call. So just go ahead and do it. And I didn't make it all about me. I just want to acknowledge, hey, I received it. I identified the fact that it came from a Facebook lead, so he doesn't think it's another spam phone call. And we had a nice brief conversation about it. He was a little taken aback that I responded that quickly, which is great. And, I followed up with a video. I followed up with a full, I don't want to say full CMA, but I used something called RPR, Realtors Property Resource, or something like that, to send them a full seller's report, and I customized it. And at the bottom of the report, I attached my pre-listing guide just to give him an idea of what it is I'll bring to the table when he's looking to sell. And he's looking to sell the first part of 2021. So that was the information I got, from him as I'm building a relationship with a guy. I don't believe in being extremely aggressive and glob on. It's a balance between earning trust, communicating, staying in touch with him via, some drip campaigns and things like that. I invited him to connect with me on Facebook, just so you can get an idea of what I'm all about as well. So far, it's worked. That particular lead, his home is worth about $1.5 million. But I have to also remember that I need to do that with each and every individual lead as well, just not that one. And I say that because I'm also getting leads from different parts of the country. I got one from Illinois. I got one from a different part of Arizona. And instead of feeling completely overwhelmed, I started reaching out to people I could partner with in Illinois, and I sent them the lead. I teed up the phone call with the actual lead saying, these people are going to reach out to you to connect. So there's a potential referral from that. So while it's a lot to manage, and sometimes I get overwhelmed, the more I take a breath, sit back, and just say one at a time, I'm able to manage it a little bit better. So that's just a little bit about what's going on with the leads for a little bit. I got a little frustrated because I was getting leads from areas I did not want to work in Arizona, mobile homes, things like that. So that's just for me to, again, take a breath, sit back. I've got all the tools in place, and it's a matter of connecting everything, being consistent with a consistent message, and consistent reach out. I can do it. I just need to acknowledge my areas of opportunity and growth.
Love it.
So that's where I'm at right now.
Awesome. Thanks, Joe. I think that's helpful for a lot of people. Just focus and do it. So you can say, oh, it's 2021. Like, I need this right now. But if you stop and think that way, you're missing the person that's next month. You're missing the person that's 3 months from now. So just acknowledge that you followed through on the process and the follow-up, and keep going.
And that's awesome, Joe. Thanks for sharing. And another thing that you can consider continuing to try with the out of area leads is whenever you set up that 3-ad split test, it's really there for finding that ad ID as the contacts come in that mostly resembles the area that you want to be in. So it's not always finding the lowest cost per lead, but finding the lead that's closest to you. And in the United States, it's all about us trying to navigate through this 15-mile radius right now, right? As everybody is aware of. So it's about just testing out different pin drops to figure out how you can attach into that ideal market. And then sometimes just messing around with the visual, maybe zooming in a little bit more, maybe being willing to put in a little bit more of a description that focuses on your area. You might pay a little bit more for that lead, but ideally you're going to be working within that lead, and you're not going to be getting the leads that come outside of it. So just something to think about.
No, I appreciate that very much. And I wanted to say, when I did the ad tweaks class, Jonathan went over a way to search the ads based on the ad ID. And to be honest with you, I should have recorded it and I didn't. And I need to go back to figure out how to do that, because that will help me figure out, okay, these 10 leads, these 5 leads came from this particular ad. So I'm going to, even though it costs a little bit more, this is an area I want to work. Does that make sense? That
makes complete sense. And I think we do record those meetings, and I'll confirm that with Steve. And if he isn't recording those meetings, he should be. Okay. We can post that back into either a YouTube content or specifically get that recording back to you for sure.
Yeah,
we haven't recorded them.
Sorry?
Yeah.
I'll record something custom later today and throw it into both the insider group and into the course.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Joe,
So
I have something for Joe. If you don't want that lead, send it to someone that is working that area and get your referral.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, because I'm in Arizona, if you don't want anything in Arizona, send it to me.
Hey, and Andre, speaking of Andre, 4 deals in escrow all accepted during this situation. Tell us about it.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to say, just to piggyback off what I don't remember his name, the last guy that was talking, was number one, speed delete is so important because, like when you talk to somebody and they're sitting at their computer looking at a home, it's much different than if you call them the next day and they forgot what they were looking at. And it helps a ton. Your conversations are going to go a lot better. But in terms of like what I'm doing now, it's really, for me, it was really simple. I already understood that when I realized a lot of people were losing their jobs, I wanted to work with buyers. The reason being is obviously sales, the average home price is going to drop. And, that being said, it's a very good thing for buyers because, I'm just reaching out, like I'm still prospecting, reaching out to my clients, letting them know like, hey, right now is a great time to buy as opposed to, how my conversations normally go. And I normally like working with sellers, but it's going to shift into a buyer's market. Therefore, I want to work with buyers. And, so when I'm talking to my clients, some of them who in early February and January were saying they wanted to wait till summer, and I was going to reach out to them, but because of what's happening, I'm reaching out to them now and saying, hey, you may not want to wait till next year or whenever you were planning on buying, you may want to buy a home now. And I'm saying that, and they're like, yeah, you're right. Let's go. And then we're going and looking at homes, and we're getting stuff under contract. And actually, I actually got another one under contract, so that's 5 now. Because last night I got an accepted offer. So, another thing, I also work a lot with investors, and like so sometimes I'm talking to people, and like I have investors that are reaching out to me, and some of them like people who flip houses don't want to buy right now because they can't sell immediately, or at least they can't sell and get what they want. But like people who do buy and holds and have rentals, you may want to try to reach out to them because they're going to have a much higher cap rate because rents are not going down, but prices of homes are going down, which increases their cap rate. And that greatly increases their return on investment. And, that's huge because, when you're doing that, as an investor, I'm an investor myself. So as an investor, it makes a lot of sense. So if you know people like that, reach out to them, try to help them and try to find what it is they're looking for because they'll be very grateful for you for doing that.
Awesome. Awesome. So tell us about the deals that you said you had 4 of them going through at the moment, right?
Well, there's 5 now, and
5.
they were one of them was again somebody who we were talking, and she actually told me she wanted to hold off. The reason she wanted to hold off was she was only approved for 150, and the average home here is like 220. So she couldn't find what she was looking for. We found her a home she loved, and it was 180,000. She couldn't afford it, and she was like, "I'm just going to wait until I can afford more home." She was going to try to decrease her debt, which obviously helps her debt to income ratio, which makes it so she can buy more home. So we were talking about that. That was like in January, and I had just had a note in my CRM to reach out to her in the summer to see where she was at. And when all of this happened, she was one of the first people I thought about. And I gave her a call, and she was like, "Yeah, let's go look." And we went out, we found a home. It was actually the $180,000 home that she liked back in January that had not sold yet and that did not get accepted for what we put an offer in for. We put in the same offer. Actually, I just called and told the agent, look, we put in an offer for X amount. We still want it. And they accepted it. So, that was one. Some of the other ones were, I had was investors. I had investors that I know that I just reached out to them, said, hey, we should go look at some places because I think you can get what you're looking for. So I had a guy who bought a 12-unit complex that was full, and his monthly rental income is roughly $10,000 a month, and he got that property for $800,000, which is a great return on investment and a very nice commission check for me. And I like that. And it's a 7-day close, so I'm very happy about that as well. And we had 2 more that were basically, they were looking for single families, and they were just people who were in my I had drip campaigns for, and I just reached out and called them and said, hey, we may want to go look for homes because, you may be able to get the home you want at a good price. And, instead of waiting for next year, because I know one of them said they wanted to look in 2021. So instead of waiting for next year, you may want to go look right now. So really it's just about telling people right now is a great time to buy, because most people feel like now is I guess what they refer to as a bad market. In my opinion, there's no such thing as a bad market. You just, as an agent, you just want to reach out to whatever, like if it's a seller's market, I actually prefer working with sellers, but when it's a, excuse me, when it's a buyer's market, you want to work with buyers. And so I'm just reaching out to my buyers and letting them know this is a great time to buy. I've actually, even though, as I mentioned, I prefer working with sellers, I've actually told my sellers, well, people who were talking to me about selling, they may want to hold off because, I just, you may not get the maximum amount. Now, if you need to sell, and I do have several listings that they need to sell, they don't have the option to not sell. So we do have their home on the market. And actually, I do have offers, but they're waiting for higher offers. So really, it's about working with, in my opinion, working with who like right now, if it's a buyer's market, you want to work with buyers. You reach out to your buyers because it's a great time for them to buy. And when you let them know that, it's because even the people who are scared, who feels like it's a bad market, when you explain to them and you literally show them real numbers, and I do that, you say, look, this is the average home in Tucson. I'm in Tucson, Arizona. This is the average home in Tucson, Arizona. But we know everything is about supply and demand. We can't change supply. People who want to sell. But when there's a lower demand and you have a lot of people losing their jobs, which means there's less people that are buying homes, which means you have less competition. And if you feel you are secure in your job to where you're going to be working a year from now, indefinitely, and you're not worried about losing your job, now is an excellent time to buy. And usually when I say that, they agree and they want to go look right away. So that's what's been working for me.
I appreciate you sharing, Andre. I'm going to launch a quick poll for everybody here. This is my first poll. Let's see if you guys can get it. Just launched it. It's have you closed a deal during COVID? And we'd love to hear from you. And if you want to elaborate a little bit on that, on how many deals you've closed, let us know. But I'm just going to keep it open for the next little bit here. And then we can kind of switch into the next testimony on maybe someone who's using virtual technologies right now, amidst of what's happening right now, and how that's helped them get into navigate this process, whether it's a virtual CMA, whether it's a virtual connection through Zoom, and then going and using electronic signatures. That'd be really interesting too, as well. But yeah, we're getting some really good people at saying there's 18 out of you that have said yes. So there's a lot of people closing deals during this time. We'd love to hear from you. I'll end the poll in about 10 seconds. Keep it open a little bit longer.
So we have Kirsten here who is doing something. Hi, your turn. So she's doing something fun. She's actually right now selling her own home and has been documenting that on YouTube, which I actually think is a really cool thing. So Kirsten, you want to talk about that? I can even share one of your videos if you want, and everybody can kind of give an idea of what you're doing there. No. But why don't you unmute yourself and kind of just tell us about your experience with that, how that's going, and also you're fairly new to StreetText and your experience kind of so far, and then leading into this whole thing. So I leave it to you.
Yeah, sorry, I just don't like watching myself on my own videos, so I get embarrassed. So I decided to sell my home. I had considered selling it before this all happened, and then it happened and I didn't know what I was going to do. But I decided to go ahead and sell it anyways. And so I have been documenting it on YouTube. One thing that I learned that doesn't have anything to do with StreetText, but I learned it here, so it kind of does, is I subscribed to BombBomb, and I did a video tour for my own house. Again, because of coronavirus, I wanted fewer people in my home. So I put it in the MLS, and obviously everything has to be unbranded. So I uploaded the video to BombBomb and used that link and took off my branding that's on it for my brokerage. And that is the link that people use whenever they are in MLS to see the video. So it's the tour that's uploaded, and then there's also a link since it goes out to Zillow and Realtor.com. All those people don't have access to the video link in MLS. So it's really cool because I can see, so I have the video of my home on YouTube that I send out on my social media, so I can track the success of that through Facebook. And then my BombBomb video, I can see every time somebody views it, and the only way that they have that link and the only way they're viewing it is if they're on MLS. So it's really cool to use that so that I know the effectiveness of the video in my MLS listing, which is obviously considerably less successful than on Facebook because there's a lot less people looking at my house in the MLS than on Facebook. But it's cool just to see and to know who is watching that video and actually utilizing that, because the video tours, people still, I mean, don't, it's there and I guess it's cool, but it's still not the way that people are used to looking at homes. They look at the pictures and they come see the house, and that's still kind of what people are doing. So I am having to kind of reteach everybody who's reaching out to, you know, have you looked at the video? But it's I didn't intentionally know that I was going to be able to track who was watching my video in 2 different ways, but it worked out that it seems like I'm more intelligent than I am. But it is cool to be able to have that BombBomb tracking, and then I can see, because it's almost like I get a notice that somebody watched my video, and then I get a notice that somebody viewed the instructions and showing time, and then I get a text of, hey, can I see your house? And so then I can see, like, if somebody watched 2% of the video, or if I get that request to see the house and I haven't gotten any updates, then I kind of know, hey, you know, did your client actually watch the video? Because I want them to see that video before they come into my house and kill me and my cats and my dog with the virus. So, and they're like, oh yeah, like maybe they did or maybe they didn't. Okay, cool, check with them. So it's helped me to be more on purpose with that. And then the YouTube documentation, it's fun. It's weird. I have to shower and get pretty every day because I'm on the camera, so that's annoying. So other than wearing more makeup, I'm adjusting just fine. But it's really personal, so it's kind of weird for the whole world to see my house, and you know, it might be successful, it might not. You know, so that's, but I thought it was just a good idea because I don't, you know, I can tell people like, hey, I still think it's a good time to sell your house. I mean, obviously I don't know about the rest of the world, but in Florida, houses are still selling like crazy because I've been looking for a new home to buy after I sell this one, and the ones that I've been looking at are going pending before obviously my house sells. So, so I just feel like it helps me be a little bit more credible when people are like, oh, do you think I should sell my house? Is this a scary thing? Like, it is scary to have people come into your house right now. But this experience has helped me, I feel like, be that much more prepared and that much more confident whenever I speak with sellers, because I'm going to do the exact same things for them that I'm doing in my own house. And my rules are probably a lot more strict than most people are. But again, it's for everybody's safety. And my concern is that if we all just kind of do it willy-nilly and don't follow all the guidelines, eventually somebody's going to get sick. Many people are going to get sick, and then they'll take away our ability to sell homes. In part, I know a lot of people don't have that ability right now. I'm very lucky that I do have that ability, but I don't want that ability to be taken away. So I'm kind of using it as a platform. And most of the people who watch my videos and subscribe, they're other realtors, and they've reached out to me, asked me questions. And so it's not really, I mean, it's clearly designed more. I'm talking to realtors. It's not an attempt to help me sell my house. It's to spread awareness of what is happening when people come to see homes, how to do it more virtually, to do it so that there's less contact. So to me, that's important, because if even several people, not everybody, follow the rules better or learn from it, then we're all going to be safer and less people get sick and more of us get to continue selling homes, because otherwise I can't pay for this home that I'm trying to sell. So
what I love about what you're doing there, though, is it's very raw, relatable, and you're taking this stance where, like, hey, I'm going through this myself, and this is what I'm learning. This is how it can be done. You know, being that it's your own home, like you said, you're maybe a little bit more strict than you might be elsewhere, but that also sets you up as that leader. You're being the example to those around you. And I think that's really going to set you up for success. Jonathan actually was talking this morning, and it was one of the things I loved. And he's like, everybody's waiting for the shift. What if the shift has already happened? We're already in it, like, you know, and now that we're there, people's minds are changing, right? They're like, well, we've hit a major change. We can make another change. Maybe now is the time to sell. Maybe I want something different. Maybe, you know, there's all different reasons, but you know, that's kind of it's an interesting thing. So if we've already shifted, how are we going to work with that?
Yeah, I like that. And I think the key is the raw, real, and relatable component. I always take that from my wife, Lisa. She has her own TV show. She said that is what everybody's craving, especially in this time, right? Is put yourself out there. People want that component more than ever. They need to feel like they can relate to you. They need to feel like they can trust you. They need to feel like they can like you. And so I try to model that. If anybody's following me on Facebook, I'm doing my own home renos right now. You know, I have a guy that is helping me. We call him Cowboy Troy, and we're just having fun because people want to have fun right now. They don't want to feel like everything's so serious, right? And I think that's a big part of what you do when you're building a social presence is be relatable. Obviously, connect the professionalism into the real aspect of your life. But I think that's a big component that you really want to shoot for, and why everybody should be jumping on the video as your main source of communication, right? And I think more now than ever, it's looking to Facebook to become an influencer and to tap into relationships, and even think about leveraging your Facebook more personally as a CRM, connecting with every single person you meet. Because if you can't connect with them face to face, you'll never get the opportunity to actually see where that can go. The communication has to be established. So one of the best things you can do is begin on the automation side with saying, hey, I'm gonna send you a friend request. I make sure everybody gets a chance to meet me. Have your personal Facebook there and see if you can connect. Obviously use the technologies you have available, BombBomb, if you're using Zoom, if you're using Calendly. These are some great integrations to speak about, especially now, because with the screen recording, you can help people walk through the process you want them to take. BombBomb screen recording is there for you, so you don't have to be front and center on the video. You can be this little bubble in the corner and having tabs open, walking them through the Zoom meeting, walking them through the Calendly link that you want them to book into, showing them the Facebook page that you had, et cetera. So you're giving them the experience you want them to have to show them how to set up that meeting and that conversation, and why it would make sense to go back to Facebook, right? Something to kind of think about and discuss. Anybody working the BombBomb screen recording model?
I am.
You are. Perfect. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I do the video CMAs, which are awesome. I got so many responses yesterday, which, you know, none of them turned into listing appointments yet, but I just love being able to have conversations with them because, you know, not all of them are ready. Some of them have tenants, and the owners don't want to scare the tenants off by putting it on the market. And so at least we're, you know, connecting, and I'll be here when they're ready. But the video CMAs are super cool because you kind of just take them through everything, and you kind of prove that the internet isn't, you know, what it should be. Everybody believes in Zillow or Realtor or you know, Trulia, and you know, those estimates are way off. So anyway, when you can prove all that wrong, then it kind of, you know, shows them how much they do need you. So, and then the BombBomb, I love it because then I'm not like this. I'm just this little bubble, like you said, and it doesn't matter if your hair is in a funny bun or anything else because you're super tiny and they're paying attention to the numbers on the screen. So.
I just wanted to say I was using it too, and I think it was Wendy's video, if I'm not mistaken. I just saw it in the group chat in StreetText on Facebook, and I started using it, and it was working like very well for me because I had verbalized everything that I had saw in that video before, saying, you know, that was just part of my little spiel, saying, you know, an estimate could be anywhere, you know, Zillow says this, and, you know, this says that, and whatever. That's like, for me to get an accurate estimate, I need to come to your home. But I think it's better when they can visually see, like, so like you can see on my computer screen where I click, this is what Zillow says your home is worth. And here, this is what this site says your home is worth. And this is, so you can see it's all over the place. And even if I could give an accurate estimate, but for me to do that, I would need to come to your home. And in saying that, it was working great for me. I will say, when this situation we're in now came about, it kind of stopped that, because obviously people didn't want me to come to their home at that point. So that kind of stopped it. But I just think that the BombBomb videos were great because
right. Well, I actually changed it just a little bit, and I said I can either personally come to view your home, or we could do it via video. And then so they're still booking on your calendar to either do a video walkthrough or invite me to their home. And so you're giving them a couple different options. And then in my calendar, I changed it to where they can pick, for a personal, home tour or a virtual home tour, so.
Wendy, that people want to see, they're asking, can we see? You did 20 some odd of them yesterday. I saw you. Can you pick one that you did yesterday and share your screen so people could see it? Do people want to see it?
Troy actually has it. Do you want to play yours?
I can load it up here. That's not a problem. Just give me a moment.
Yeah, and in the meantime, what I'll do is I'll share the results from the poll, and obviously not everybody participated, but it's pretty cool. I mean, 22 of you here says you've closed a deal during COVID. So we've got a lot of testimonials here, right? And so at this point, I really want to emphasize, you guys, this is for everybody here. Just simply unmute yourself and participate, because obviously it's a little bit scary, but it's so fun when we can actually discuss this and break it down and share what's been working for you, how you actually went through that, how you navigated in your own specific market, because from state to state, from province to province, there are different rules and regulations. So we just love to hear it and see what you've been doing to kind of adapt through this process. So definitely feel free to unmute yourself and share as we're going through this. Or if you have specific questions about how to adapt, we'd love to actually help you. This is what it's for.
Okay, I've got Wendy's video here, so I'm going to try to share that, and just let me know if you can hear the sound. I'm trying something different. Nope, it's not going to let me. Okay, so hold on a second.
I think right now we're all trying something different. So you're
Let's see.
Hi, Natalia. I'm Wendy with LBC Homes Realty. I received your request online to find the value of your home at 9824 Tehima Court in Las Vegas. And I pulled it up on Zillow. Looks like a great home on a great lot. And they're saying it's worth about $346,251. Redfin is saying it's worth about $299,313. And Realtor.com is saying it's worth about $375,400. So as you can tell, online values are all over the place and it can get confusing. So we actually dive right into the MLS and look for similar square footage, also no pool, 2-story, 2-car garage, and they're ranging from $297 to $350. So in order to get a true value of your home, however, I would actually need to see your home. Below this video is a link to my calendar. You can click on it, pick the best day and time for you, for me to either come by personally and view your home, or we could do it via video. And then I can also answer any questions you may have. So thank you so much for reaching out, and we'll talk soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Wow. That is powerful, guys. It's so much value there too, because you're personally speaking to them, Wendy, and you're going through 4 different interpretations of the value, and you're really communicating how it's all over the place, and meeting with you would be the best opportunity to actually give them an accurate value, and especially now, and kind of reassure what to do in this market amidst all the uncertainty. I think that's a powerful video. Good job. Well done.
And the reason she's so good at it is repetition. How easy and is it for you to do those videos now compared to when you first started? It's like second nature.
My first ones were horrible.
Actually, I don't agree with you, Wendy. Your first ones were good. I remember when you first created your first videos, I thought they were phenomenal. But at the same time, exactly like I was saying, like repetition breeds that comfortability and the knowledge that you know that it's going to work. I think that's the key. Is when you do your first ones, you're a little nervous. You know, how is this going to be viewed? How is this going to be received? And then all of a sudden, even though it might not have been your best, you're getting really good feedback from your clients. It's like, okay, this works. And then you just kind of feed into it and you don't hold back your personality. And I think that's key for every single one of the people on this call right now is be yourself, be authentic. People, we're in a world of bots and automations, right? So anywhere where you can personalize and put your personality into these videos and into your communication, you're setting yourself up to win in a sense, right? So I think that's awesome. Very well done.
I had someone the other day say to me, well, Ira, I can't film any videos right now because I desperately need a haircut. Until I get a haircut, I said, no way. I said, do your video and say, hey, by the way, like, do you know how to get a virtual haircut anywhere? Like right now in these times, I just can't do a haircut, but I'm getting this out to you anyways. Excuse my unprofessionalism. These are weird times we're living in. And then do your video. You're more relatable. You're more human. It shows that you're current, that you filmed you filmed that recently, that it wasn't something you filmed 3 years ago, that you're actually there and present. Because there's nothing worse than clicking on something that's outdated. Because if it's outdated, then I assume that you're not current, you're not with it, you don't know what's going on. When the video is current, so if you want something to do right now, go in and look at your videos, your BombBomb videos. Film some current ones so that when they go out in this current time, it shows that you're current, you're with these times and things are moving now.
It can't go that long though. I have no idea. I've never plucked my own eyebrow. So like my eyebrow lady is shut down. I'm like, please tell me you do how it's called. She's like, no, it's Barry. I'm like,
just so there's your next video material. Excuse my eyebrows. I have not plucked them in weeks.
I'm gonna throw
Sorry for my monobrow.
Because it's not just the videos either though. You need to sit there and Marcus loves it. You got to go live. I've sat there and done a couple tours where sellers love playing realtor. And so the shift in trying to get them connect with you, whether it's on Facebook Messenger, whether it's FaceTime, whatever device they have, figure out what your favorite video and easiest one to work with is, but you want to have several because not everybody has an iPhone. So if they got an Android or whatever, if you can get them to Facebook Messenger with you, let them give you the guided tour of the home. I've done a couple walkthroughs with people already where they played the realtor and showed me their house. And then the follow-up when it was done is HomeBot has been really generating stuff for me lately. So instead of me sending out the longer video, like I was doing stuff like Wendy, I've shortened my stuff down because I'm still remembering you wanna hold people's attention. So my initial thing out the gate is that they've hit the StreetText. I go ahead and hit them back. I go ahead and send them a HomeBot, let them know I've sent them a HomeBot, and give them the opportunity to say, hey, I'd love to have a virtual tour of your house. If you're up to walking me through your house, this and that, I'd love to see it. And the people have been more responsive where they'll walk you through the house, show you everything. And at that point, you know, make sure you ask your usual questions, see your things, get the stuff out the way. And then when you're done, go ahead and hit them up with the video now on the back end, like Wendy did, said, hey, I want to thank you for giving me a tour of the home. Let me show you what I kind of pulled up. Now you show them the back end where, you know, what Zert's showing online for their home is worth. Go ahead and maybe build them out a real CMA if you want. Or what I've done is I've gone in and adjusted the CMA on HomeBot because I know it's going to be running monthly and I want to keep them in front of me. So I've just kind of reversed the video process where I'm trying to get live at 5 right in front of them. And now you're getting that interaction, you're getting that. And, you know, once again, you have to approach people in a way others aren't. So you stand out and stand at the top of the pile. And I've just, the live conversation has worked well versus just sending a video and waiting because you're getting an interaction and an engagement.
It's awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Leon. Hey, Donna, if you're there, I would love to hear from you. I know that you participate in the insider group and shared us that you've been closing a few deals. Tell us what you've been doing. Donna, are you there? Can you unmute yourself? Oh, she said just a moment. She might be driving.
Okay, so while we're waiting so I have to ask Wendy, one, I've watched a ton of BombBomb videos and been in the insider group for a long time. When you get a new lead and you set yourself up in front of your computer, and I know now you're getting faster and everything else, how long does it take you to go to all 3 websites, prep your BombBomb? For every contact, is it 4 minutes, 6 minutes, 10 minutes? How long does it take you to get set up and start to finish?
Well, I kind of cheated and I hired someone to do my CMAs through the MLS. and send them to me. So we kind of have a system going. And so with that, I just pull that up, I put the address in, all the things, and I do the video, and it's probably about 5 minutes if I say everything right. Sometimes I'll be like, I fuck up the address or, you know, whatever. I'm like, oh. So, but most of the time, I mean, I can pretty much do this in my sleep now. My words just are natural, so everything goes fine. But sometimes it's like 3 or 4 takes, so obviously that's longer. But yeah, like 5 minutes per, you know. But it's funny because like I need to just turn off my phone when I do it because I'm constantly getting text messages and, you know, emails and everything, and my agents need help, and I'm like, so it takes me forever to do my videos because everything's in the way. But and then Maisha was asking, when do I send that? So as soon as a lead comes in, obviously the funnel is in StreetText that starts off with, you know, hi, thank you, you know, for inquiring about your home's value. And then I say something about, you know, I'm gonna friend request you, and my Facebook link is below, blah, blah, blah. So that goes out first. And then I say, you know, I'm gonna be sending this to you. But then I give myself a couple days to get these video CMAs out because sometimes I like to go wheeling on the weekend. So that's why Mondays are usually, I have a ton of videos to do because they kind of pile up, but I get those done before day 4, because then day 4, I have another video that goes out saying, you know, I hope you got my video about your, you know, home's value. And then I tell them then about how I'm going to set them up on HomeBot. And then I think it's day 5, they get set up on HomeBot. So like, there's just kind of a, you know, they get something from me almost every day. So anyway.
I freaking love it. I have to tell you, I mean, you know, the more and more I'm looking at these bombs and, you know, you saying they 5 minutes. So there's 60 minutes in an hour. That's potentially 12. Let's say that a few mess ups here and there. I think every single person that's on this call or sees it on replay, they should try and make an attempt to buckle down for 60 to 120 minutes a day, 2 hours, and reach back on all your older leads. Go through the legacy leads. The ones, I mean, go hit the new ones that come in every day. You might be getting 1 to 10 leads a day. That's great. That's 1 hour. But then try and go back to your legacy leads and just touch them beyond the automations, because maybe they want to see that you're real and that you really care about them during this difficult time. And I'm thinking, you know, if you do 2 hours a day, let's just say 8, that's 16 contacts a day, legacy leads. You do that five days a week. I mean, you could touch all your leads within 2 to 3 weeks, maybe even a month, but then they're all touched all over again. And maybe you hit them at that right time, right place, and then they raise their hand and say, I'm ready to go. The one thing, and I don't want to take over and chime too much, but I want to offer 2 things or tidbits of advice for agents. And I'm going to screen share just really quick and go here. I already have it opened up. So one, from the listing agent side, this gives you the opportunity to up your game. So I own a marketing company with my fiance. She runs 95% of it, and it costs a lot once you start doing a lot. And when I say that is, the camera equipment was $4,000 as an investment. And for our hosting fees, it's $400 a month for the amount of virtual tours that she does. I think everybody should potentially, if you're a listing agent and you're going to do 1 listing or more a month, especially with StreetText, you should be doing a lot more because it's so effective. This is an amazing deal. You get basically a $325 camera, and you can get 12 months on unlimited hosting, unlimited active tours. So maybe you help out another fellow real estate agent in your office and you split the cost. Maybe you go to your broker and say, hey, can you buy this for our office? This would be utilized for everybody, and everybody checks it out, kind of like old school library. I think this would be amazing. And another thing I'm going to tell everybody is, and I've been having a hard time management because, again, homeschooling the kids now and everything else. Watch this video. I'm a big fan of Ryan Serhant from $1 Million Listing New York. And this video is life-changing. And it talks about like multitasking and how to work your face off and the 1,000-minute day rule. I watched this video in November and December. I implemented it, and it snowballed into me closing a deal every single 7 days, like selling a home a week. Single agent, no assistant, no team. I think this would be a great thing for everybody to jump on because it could change your life. I mean, right now, I'm all about multitasking. I'm eating a meal prep meal that I support a local business, and they're $10 each. I went by, bought 4 of them yesterday. The thing is, doing something simple like that, they're like, oh, George, that's kind of expensive. I go grocery shopping. Think about going to a grocery store, then having to cook your food, and then having to clean up after yourself and cleaning up your food. How much time is that? That's probably 3 to 4 hours total. Well, yes, I'm spending $10 and I'm eating during this call. This frees me up to do another 8 to 10 or 12 contacts for the day. That could get you more business. So that's all I really wanted to share with everybody because again, you know, we're going through a difficult time. Everybody's making adjustments. Make the adjustments so you're not only going to survive this downturn, you're going to thrive during this downturn.
Yeah, I mean, I'll add something really quickly on that. You know, realistically, I think one of the things that we don't realize is how much time we waste in a day. No matter who you are, no matter what's happening around you, whether you're in and out of your house, leaving to do, you know, your normal business, whether you're sitting at home in front of your computer, you know, distractions are everywhere. And I would challenge everybody to write down your day. Like forecast what your day looks like and then actually physically look at it. And then at the end of your day, maybe go through and check off, did I do that at that time? Did I do that at that time? What did I do instead? And you can really look and see where your time has been wasted because there's time sucks all around us, especially with what's happening right now. I mean, most of us aren't used to being home as often as we are right now. Right? So what better opportunity than to see where you're spending your time most effectively than to plan your day, figure out where you're going to spend your time and then go back and see how well you did with that. I think that would be an interesting thing for everybody to do.
Really good point. Hey, Donna, if you're there, you feel free to unmute yourself and speak. I think you're unmuted.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I would have to say I've been using the 3D Matterport tours already, but they've become more valuable. Last month I closed 3. One of those 3 was a listing from StreetText. The one that I closed April the 3rd was a StreetText, and I would just say the biggest thing is follow up. Not as good as Wendy. I'm not as confident about the video thing. See the gray? Have no one else to take care of it. Eyebrows are out of control. So I guess I needed that today so I could kind of do my videos. But I would say the biggest thing is follow up. I always do a lot of relocations here in Arizona. Everybody loves our weather. And so I've already been doing videos, but I'm doing actually more now with the buyers where I'm doing their tours, even if they're here, and we narrow it down to like the one they want to put a contract on, and we go see that one. In person, Lysol and everything down. So I guess that would be kind of the big thing now. It's just being a lot more cautious. You're not going to C3. We're going to narrow it down. I go out and I spray and I'm very cautious, but just trying to minimize exposure. And I had one listing. Since there's no new normal, I only usually go on the market on Thursdays, went on the market on a Monday, and we were still under contract on Saturday. Here with the new stay at home, we weren't able to attend, of course, the, home inspection with my buyer on Monday, and then my new contract that went under contract, they weren't able to attend, but we just try to stay safe. But video is great. Anything else?
Was it vacant, Donna? Was your
no?
Vacant?
My buyers was vacant, but we weren't allowed to attend. And with my sellers, it wasn't vacant. And my sellers are old school, so we didn't have a lockbox. So what they did was, I told the sellers, they're sitting in the truck out front. You come out, leave it open. And then they got in their car and then the inspectors went in. So there's no contact at all. So that's how we did it. Because we're not allowed to attend inspections now.
Thanks for sharing, Donna. That was awesome. Appreciate that. Anybody else like to share? Cameron, I know you had something to say about time management. Go for it, buddy.
Absolutely, guys. So time management's huge for me. The start of this year, I was doing like 6 contracts with buyers constantly, and I was just overwhelmed. The biggest thing that I found that worked is there's an app. It's called freedom.to. That's the website, freedom.to. And it literally just blocks out websites. I am a huge Redditor. I don't know if you guys know about Reddit or know what Reddit is, but it is a social media platform, and you can waste your whole life on it. And I did. There was times that I would you'd get on it for 10 minutes and you'd be on it for 2 hours, and it's like, where did my day go? I had to block those things out. That's what that website does. Is it gives you a way to block certain websites out, just like TikTok, just like Instagram. You can put it on your phones. You can put it on your tablets. I can put it on everything. And it's the only way that I am able to, time management and make it so that I can sit down. It's time blocking, right? And that's what I learned I had to do. And since I have implemented that here about mid last year, my productivity has just exploded. And it's really important because the internet sucks you in. I mean, if you get into, Facebook's the same way. That's why we advertise on Facebook, right? Is because people spend their lives on it. But as professionals, we can't spend 15 minutes that turns into 2 hours.
Man, that's a great takeaway. I think we all are guilty of that. I'm so guilty of that. I can be on, oh man, especially now going down that rabbit hole of everything that's going on, conspiracy theories, guilty. But you know what I mean? That's awesome. So it's what was the website? It's called freedom.to.
Yep, freedom.to. It's an app. It's a subscription, so they're obviously trying to make money, but it's very cheap. You install the app on the devices you want it, and it just blocks out the websites that you choose. If you don't want to have the news available because it's something that eats up your time, you can block out the news sites. If you want to block out, like I did, Reddit was the biggest one for me. I'm a huge person. I love it. And it was really good for that. And it doesn't give you the option. It just says, hey, you're at work Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can't go on Reddit. After work, go for it. But during those times, it's like, it forces you to do it.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing, Cameron.
I just end up wasting most of my day looking for another device that I haven't installed that on. That'd be my problem.
So you guys, we're coming to the last 10 minutes of this meeting. Anything pressing at the moment that you'd like to see? Any classes you'd like us to create? Anything that we can do to give back to you in the group, in the class environment? How could we help you right now? How could we, and during this time, what would you like to see out there? Because we're all about just bringing value back to you. So if there's anything specifically that you need help with that you'd like us to create for you as content, please let us know, share, unmute yourself.
I still go with my suggestion from last week. Find somebody who's not really heavy hitting here in StreetText, and next week go in and set up something showing how to update their videos over to something, corresponding with what's going on now. You've suggested in the past about being a little more, I don't want to say caring, because it's not that we don't care, but something more geared towards what's going on now that lets people have a better message they're sending over to someone. So, the challenge I guess I give the group is everybody that wants Marcus or Logan to go ahead, or Ira or somebody to post your video inside your dashboard next week, come up with a video that you would like to go into your intro video or somewhere in the first couple of days of what goes out. Let them pick out what's going to be there, and then take your account, show everyone how to post it, and just kind of get that out to the group for everybody who's kind of wondering what kind of changes or tweaks they need to make to theirs.
Yeah, that's amazing, Leon. And can I recommend for everybody that's using this insider group on Facebook to, as you use the discussion, this is probably the best place you could start using video communication. Instead of just writing things there, use video and communicate to what you need help with, what you're looking for, a win, an idea, something that you pulled away that you want to share with everybody. Because the more video we drive together as a community, the more we'll get comfortable with it, right? So I know it's uncomfortable, but the part of that is just creating habits around it, just like Wendy did in the beginning. And now she's doing it and she's not even have to think about it. So part of that is using this group so we can actually sharpen one another with video communication. Because as we know, everything's moving virtually. So let's rally around each other to help each other in these processes, in these integrations with video communication. And that's what we really want to thrive with you on. So yeah, throw that in the insider group, everything in there. Yeah, go ahead, Angie.
Well, I just started this. Hi, everybody. I just started this StreetText, and I like it. And I was saying that I did the same thing as Wendy. Yeah, I changed her name. But I didn't do it on video, and I really loved what she did. I just did it on an email follow-up, exactly the same thing, but in an email. And but I'm gonna start working on the same thing that she did. I really liked it. And we had a closing. I had a closing on March 17th. The COVID-19 was starting, so it was just weird. We all sat on the table. You know, nobody wanted to touch hands or anything like that. But we did it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's my experience right now.
Yeah, and Angie, I think that's kind of where everybody who's been with StreetText has progressed, and essentially the doing the 3 different values from the different sites is something that, you know, most people have been doing now for quite some time, and it's worked very well for everybody. And, you know, coming to these meetings, everybody's just starting to progress, and you know, seeing Wendy being able to take that example and say, hey, let's personalize this, let's take this from the paper and put it onto the screen and make it a personal experience. You can see how valuable that is, right?
That was really great. I really liked it.
That was Logan's idea, by the way. He taught me everything I know.
I think that realistically, it's, you know, we pick things up here at StreetText. Us coaches pick things up from you guys, and then so having these meetings, this just really seems to be where it's a learning ground. Everybody is picking things up and then able to, you know, share with other people. And as a collective, we all get better at what we're doing. And it's really fun to see. And one more thing I wanted to give a quick recommendation. When it comes to what we need to do now, video walkthroughs are becoming obviously much more important than ever before. And if I was to tell somebody who's never done one before, here, just go and do this, it can be a little bit more difficult. So just like you, seeing what Wendy has done and being able to then replicate that, it's much easier. Yeah. So why don't we do this? Do a walkthrough of your own home. Start outside, start with your curb appeal, walk in, you know, follow the right pathway, but typically you want to see curb appeal, you want to see the kitchen, then you want to see the master and ensuite, right? Those are the 3 things that I want to see first, and I want to make sure are highlighted. So I would start in my own home, as if I was selling my own house, if that makes any sense, so that you can then have something, an example for your clients to follow. So you can say, hey, I would love for you to do a quick video walkthrough so that I can either send it to other agents, send it to potential buyers, or, you know, use it for marketing purposes, whatever it might be. Share them your example. Here's my home, walkthrough, show kitchen. It's a little bit of a personal experience, right? But I think once again, it's the ability to be vulnerable. It's the ability to highlight that I'm a real person. Right? Yeah. So clean your house up, you know, make sure it looks nice and tidy, but do a quick walkthrough and then share that with your clients and say, this is all I want from you as well. You can do it, you know, FaceTime, Skype while you're on the phone with them, or follow my example, record this video, send it my way, and we can talk about it.
No.
Hey.
Oh,
no, go ahead, Angie. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I have done, I mean, I didn't think about that, you know, but I have done, when I showed houses last year, I did walkthroughs because like the wife was in the showing, but the husband wasn't there. So we had to do, you know, like videos and stuff like that. So yeah, I know how to use all this. So that, but this gave me, I didn't think about what Wendy did. That's all.
So I have Marley here. And then for those of you who have been through the StreetText Academy, Marley, I'm going to share this because I want to share this experience. I've always so loved this automation because it's so natural and warm and welcoming. Let me just show you this quickly so you know, and then Marley, you can talk about it and see if this is adapted or changed for you.
Hi, I'm Marley with Elevate Real Estate. I got your request for the home price valuation and I am on it. Oh, and by the way, I left a link to my Facebook profile page below. I'll just be sending you a really quick friend request. Want to make sure you get a chance to meet me. I'll talk soon. Bye.
Awesome. Marley, you there? Marley. Oh, you got to unmute yourself. Unmute. There you go.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Hey. Yeah, I still use that except for I just reshot it because I was with a different brokerage. But I still use that as my intro video. And then I was kind of off it for the last few months. And so I literally just scrubbed all my leads from the last 6 months. and anybody that sent in a real request. So it's about 50 people actually that came through that weren't just address only. And so I was trying to get a new workflow. So I'm really glad I tuned into this meeting because I got some good ideas. I didn't even realize BombBomb had the screen share with that. I was still using a different app. So the fact that I'm paying for BombBomb, I might as well just get into it and do it that way. So doing that with the HomeBot, like I'm excited to kind of just start fresh and get all those out so that, you know, next week I can start with the new lead flow. But yeah, just the idea of, you know, taking 2 hours and doing a few CMAs a day, of saying, hey, you know, you tuned in 6 months ago, everything new is happening with the market, you know, don't freak out, seller values are still there. I work daily with the lender and he was just like, you know, make sure you pitch them, like appraisal is still coming in right now, but we don't know what's going to be for in the next 6 months. So this is a really great time to buy or sell, or sell, I should say, while the value is still there in your property. So yeah, I mean, maybe I'll have an update in the next like 2 or 3 weeks of how the new flow went, but I'm excited about it.
You know, and I think the important piece to take away there for people to see in the StreetText Academy course, which I suggest everybody kind of always go back to when they're kind of trying to figure out how to make this all work, because we always update it and put examples in there. So it's a phenomenal course. We try to actually tell you whenever we update it by putting a little star there for you, okay? So just so you know, go back to the StreetText Academy course. It's filled with great scripts, examples, strategies, video content. And we know that because, well, we take it from you. And Marley's an example of it. Marley has a great script in there. She has another one where she sets up different times that are available in her calendar, but things are always changing. And so we're always adapting and we're using virtual technologies to do it. So for those of you that are finding winning formulas, please share it. We'll pull it back into the StreetText Academy for everybody to see. And then we can all rally around one another and make this win. You're not going to do the same thing that Marley does if it's not comfortable for you. So you got to find out what works for you. But at the end of the day, it's still the same, like, you know, hey, I'm here for you. Let's connect on Facebook. Here's a link into my schedule. Let's do a virtual meeting. That's basically, we need to dumb it down a little bit just to make it really comfortable for people. Because it's not overcomplicating the process. It's simply looking for a connection, for a two-way dialogue to begin.
Right. And are you guys using your Calendly link in your auto signatures? I mean, just setting up Calendly. I just set up, you know, integrated Calendly, Zoom, you know, StreetText, follow-up boss, all that stuff. So the workflow, like you're talking about, is seamless. Now it's a matter of just making sure all the messaging is the same. And I also want to say, and I sent a note to Wendy, sorry, I didn't pronounce it right or spell it right. But, you know, kudos to everybody that, and I have to remind myself to do this when I'm doing a video, is make it like you're talking to a single person as opposed to blasting. Because at the end of the day, it's the connection. It makes me more real. And I noticed all you guys doing the videos, it felt like you were talking directly to me. And that is huge from a connection perspective. I felt it, and it was a good reminder for me to do the same thing. You know, just act like you're talking to one person and that's it.
Look into the video, look into the screen. Absolutely. Like, because you can have your canned responses where you feel like you're talking to them, but don't let that be it. And remember, all these technologies are measurable. So it's one thing to send it, it's another thing to track it, but are they watching it, right? And if they're not watching it, you might want to resend it from BombBomb, which we've discovered from Jen Salter, right? So don't rely on one communication to send. If you're sending it from, let's say, your Gmail or something, and it's not being open, well, try sending it from BombBomb and see if it's open, and then measure if it's being watched. And then, you know, with the tracking component of BombBomb, you can actually see if links are being clicked on. So if you have a Calendly link built on, it'll show you that link's being clicked. And that's how you know it's an effective piece of communication. So you want to track, you want to make sure it's being open, you want to make sure it's being watched, and you want to make sure the links are being clicked from within that email. Now you've got a strategy that's going to win for you.
Right.
Awesome. All right, guys, we'll let you go. That was amazing mastermind. Yeah, Leon, go ahead, buddy.
I'll give you one more. I always laugh. Things always happen. You know, I never sit still. So I'm gonna give you a quick screen share. And it's kind of funny as we're talking about things. So here you go. This one here, markets are changing around here. While we're sitting here, this guy's been in the pipeline over a year. I just sent this out when I was blasting everybody. And you can see what the guy's saying in here about it. This guy's over a year. So, and he was in my StreetText system. So you can see he's saying all I have to do is find a buyer and you can make a nice commission. Let me know, Chuck. This guy here, I did my first virtual walkthrough of his house, and he's an engineer. This dude is like Mr. Precise, and it's like a $1.2 million listing over by Bellevue that the guy has, and it's just crazy when I had him run me through it, and he was just so happy to do this. So I'll be following up with him today because I blasted everybody out like, hey, just checking to make sure you're safe. Didn't ask for the business. And then I went ahead and like I said last week, I was going to go through all my HomeBot stuff and just update the CMAs and send them out, and they're responding. But I always say the shiny new button. Go look and see what technology you already have on the table. Don't go spend no more money today, because chances are you got 3 or 4 programs already that do what you want to do. The bottom line you want to do is you streamline, we say time management, figure out what's going to give you it's not always the easiest, sometimes it's the best, but figure out what works best for you and go ahead and set it up to get out to the people that you're reaching out to, because there's nothing worse than you delivering something to somebody and you don't know how it works. So take a minute, practice what you have. I don't care if you send it to yourself, make sure that you've got your product delivery good, then sit down and go ahead and get it out using what you have. Your MLS, mine supplies Authenticite. I don't need to use DocuSign. HomeBot, like I said, it's a quicker way for me to do my CRMs. The best product is what works for you, the best way you can use it. So take a minute to just reevaluate all the stuff you have on the table that you're already paying for, or paid for, or forgot you're paying for, and get out there and use it. And over the next week, go ahead and put it to use. And Marcus said it right. Look in the group, share online. Still, let's give each other our wins and our losses, and let's see where we go. And next week when we sit down, let's have a whole bunch more positive things to say to everybody.
I love it, Leon. Post everything in the insider group, because we are all there to give constructive feedback, right? We'll tell you if it doesn't feel natural, if, hey, check this out, you might want to do this a little bit differently to get it to work right. But that's what we're all here for, is to sharpen one another. So if you're kind of like, oh, and feeling a little bit, I don't know if I should do this, post in the insider group. We'll get some feedback. We'll help you win. And at the end of the day, it's all going to drive you guys to your next relationship. So let's make it happen.
Yeah, thanks everybody. This was a great mastermind. This morning I was speaking with another business there, land surveying company, and I was saying, how are things? And they said, it's actually busy. And it's like that they were saying, and it makes a lot of sense, is people are adjusting to this as a new normal in this time. And so they're going back to life. They're just doing it from afar. So kudos to everybody here taking the initiative to set up that virtual tours, get ahead of it, because people are going to go back to the normal. They're just doing it from afar, and they're looking for ways to do that. So if you're making virtual tours convenient, if you're making it easy for people to get virtual CMAs, if you're making it easy for people to get engaged with you, in touch with a realtor right now, kudos to you, because that is just the reality, is that people are so adaptable and they go back to it. So good job. Thanks everybody. It was a great mastermind. Loved it. Good
everybody.
Stuff.
We'll see you. Post everything back to the group. Anything that you love that you want us to focus on for next week, and anything that you liked from this mastermind, share in the group. We'll be talking to you soon.
Yeah, and thanks, Marley. Good to see you again. The queen of video. You should show your YouTube videos too. They're so good.
So good.
Hey, girl, you were looking good the other day in your little blue outfit. Seen you out there just like all energy.
I know. There's going to be a massive push of videos to YouTube this month, as I've been home actually having the time to edit them. So yes, look out for that, and definitely subscribe once it's out. I'll post the link later.
Thanks, guys. We'll talk soon.
Okay.